Today, I want to talk about a launch model that could really streamline how you plan your goals for launching digital products each quarter of the year. Hi, I'm Claire Koo, CEO of Conquer the Digital Empire, and my agency works with service providers to help them turn their knowledge into digital products they can sell for an additional stream of income. I did this great exercise with one of my clients near the end of last year, and we figured out how to really streamline how she was launching her digital programs on a quarterly basis that can help maximize her course launch signups. And also just the ease of planning, because a lot of effort does go into launching any sort of program, especially behind the scenes. I think it's helpful, especially when we're goal setting, to think of what are our goals based on quarters instead of just what's your overall big year goal. It just seems a lot more manageable when you think of it that way. So the quarterly launch model is what I want to talk with you about today, and I've put together a little visual to help you really understand how you might be able to adapt it for your business. So I've distilled the quarterly launch model down into three core elements. The first element is this lead magnet. Typically, a lead magnet is when you're giving instant access to a free resource, either one that is existing or something that is really easy and quick to create. This could be a PDF, a template, or a pre-recorded video. You want to be promoting a lead magnet at the start of the quarter, and this lead magnet should naturally lead people to want the program or whatever digital product you're planning to sell them at the end. One of my lead magnets is a roadmap called From Custom Service to Digital Product Roadmap. And this is a PDF that a new email subscriber can get instant access to once they sign up for my email list. And once I get people to sign up for the lead magnet, they're in my world. I can be nurturing them throughout the quarter through email marketing, sharing valuable content to them throughout. So that's just at the beginning of the marketing funnel. Then the next part of the quarterly launch model is driving people to a live event. The live event is really key because that is when you can give your new leads a chance to not just learn from you, but also to directly engage with you. One difference with, let's say, if you were just sharing a pre-recorded video, someone can watch a video that you've created, and that's great, but they don't really have the opportunity to directly ask you questions and get a real-time response and real-time feedback, right? But at a live event, especially events where you're going to open it up for Q&A, that's when people really get a taste of what it's like to work with you and get some support from you. And it really accelerates that know, like, trust factor, making it really easy for others to buy from you, right? Examples of a live event would be if you're hosting a challenge, some kind of interactive workshop, or perhaps you're guest speaking. You're borrowing someone else's audience so that you could speak on a topic that is of interest to that audience. They can ask you questions at the end of your guest speaking presentation. So think of a live event where you give people a chance to interact. And if you've been really helpful in answering someone's question and you really tailored it to the situation that they're talking about, oh man, that gets people really hooked on wanting to ask more questions from you, wanting to work from you even more. Now, at the live event, you do want to be teasing the program that you plan to sell. I really appreciate live events where the host is very transparent and upfront that there is something they want to promote or pitch at the end. None of us like the feeling going into a free event thinking, oh, this is just going to be some great information. And then boom, getting almost blindsided that they're selling throughout the whole presentation. I prefer events where they say upfront, hey, we're going to get into the training, but I also want to tell you up front that there's going to be a special opportunity to join one of our programs, and we're going to talk about it at the end. When hosts have done that, it sets our expectations so that we're just not surprised when a pitch does come because they've already told us that they're going to do it. And it's the viewer's choice if they want to stay for that pitch part or not. Don't be afraid to tease what's going to happen up front because most people, they just want you to be transparent with them. And then, of course, you want to then launch the digital product. This is where you're going to open enrollment for your program for a limited time. When I say program, that could either mean a course, an ongoing membership you have, or a coaching program that lasts for a certain number of months. Typically, coaching programs, you'll see them structured to be 3, 6-month, or entire 12-month programs. Now, for the limited time, that just means that people can enroll only from a certain set of dates. So you might let people enroll for 7 days or 10 days or 14 days. The amount of time you're letting your folks enroll, also known as how long you're leaving the cart open, that will vary based on your preferences and situation. But again, you're opening enrollment for a limited time. These are the 3 main elements happening every quarter. To better help you visualize this launch model, I'm going to show you how this applies to the client that I was talking about and how she's using it this year to drive more traffic to her digital products. So in my client's quarterly launch model, it all starts with a lead magnet. She is a quilting educator. So this is her newest lead magnet that we put together. It is a workbook called Quilt Your First Project with Confidence. It's helping new quilters learn about the basic supplies and steps for free motion and ruler quilting. This lead magnet is getting promoted on her website. She links to it in her social media bios. And this is what gets people onto her email list. Email marketing is a big part of how she drives traffic to her various products. So this lead magnet is available pretty much always and throughout. She has multiple lead magnets, but this is the one that ties most directly into what she's launching each quarter. This is the one that's getting more attention, more promo love. Now, the live event that is also happening is something called a quilt along. In her industry, a quilt along spans 6 to 8 weeks, where quilters can quilt along with her as she goes through showing them how to put together a quilt based on a pattern she's designed. This first quarter quilt along is lasting from January 6th to February 27th, so about 7 weeks. What's great with this quilt along is she has people sign up so that they're on her email list, and then she's emailing them at the beginning of each week a resource related to that week's topic. Week 1, choosing colors and fabrics, she has a blog all about that. And then a couple days later, she'd host a live Q&A session on that week's topic. So she goes live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. That is where that live engagement comes in, where people who have joined the quilt along can watch her live, ask her questions directly, and she can respond in real time. In addition to that, she's also asking people to post pictures of their quilt in progress and tag her account so then she can comment and share, celebrate their progress along the way. And that back and forth, that interactive element is so much more powerful than if she had just sent another video telling them how to do a certain technique, right? That's part of the learning element for sure. But again, it's all about that live interactive engagement that gets people excited to tune in week after week, and that builds up their anticipation for when she actually launches her course. During an event like the quilt along, she is still teasing that there's a course launch coming up. It's not hidden from any of the participants, so there's no big surprise when she does open the doors to her course. And that's that launch element. She has signature courses that teach people how to free motion quilt and ruler quilt. When people go to this website and they click learn more, that's where they can make a purchase during the open enrollment time. She typically has enrollment open between 9 or 10 days. And all of that goodwill built up during the live event translates over into the actual launch. Imagine if there was no live event and she just had gotten people through a lead magnet. They would need more convincing because they didn't get to have that engagement, that back and forth with her in a live setting. You're just getting more know, like, trust factor built up with this live event. And this is something that she can repeat every quarter. The beauty of it is she can keep the lead magnet and the launch elements the same. The only thing that really has to change for her is the live event. She could always replace this, let's say, with a 1 or 2 day workshop. For her, she's choosing to always do a multi-week quilt along because she likes building that relationship over time. And the only thing she's swapping is the pattern of the quilt that they're going to be sewing together. You can see in the background here, this is one of her patterns that she's designed. She has multiple other patterns that she's created, but other than that, the structure and all of the elements in the back end can stay the same as far as driving people to the live event, teasing the launch upcoming, and then opening enrollment for that 10-day period. I hope you can see its repeatability in terms of how you can focus on what type of content you need to make up front, what type of event you can create for that middle portion to get people engaged with you, and ultimately what you want to launch. And now that you've seen her particular example, reflect if this model feels right for you, what would your quarterly launch model look like? When we talk about the lead magnet, I want you to ask yourself, what have you already created that you could be promoting through email or social? Maybe you dig around in your Google Drive or look what you have saved locally on your computer that could easily be packaged into a PDF or a template. Or if you've got a backlog of video recordings from trainings or coaching sessions you've done, perhaps you can take a snippet from that and let that be a pre-recorded video that you give someone instant access to. Then next, when you think about live events that you want to host, how can you demo your expertise in a live setting? It doesn't have to be a multi-week quilt along the way my client does it. That just works really well for her industry. But for you, perhaps even just a 1 hour training session, a 1 hour masterclass. That's still giving people an opportunity to hear your teaching style and experience how you handle questions. Your ability to be able to answer questions live and really help someone out in a setting like that instills so much more confidence in a viewer that you can really help them. They think if Claire was able to give me that much insight in a couple minutes when I asked this one question in a Zoom call, I bet she could help me even more if I signed up for her XYZ program where I get access to her many times. So think about how you can demo your expertise in a live setting. If you're someone who doesn't have a big audience yet, I mentioned one of the live events could be guest speaking. Go borrow someone else's audience. Instead of you having to hunt for people, you can just focus on delivering your expertise and having the audience already be receptive to what you want to teach. And then for the launch element, just ask yourself, which program do you want to drive more traffic to? Now, if you only have one program, that answer is pretty straightforward. It's the one that you have. But if you happen to have multiple programs or products that you're deciding between, that's a question you can ask yourself to decide which one to focus on for the quarter. You could think of alternating it, like maybe program one gets focused on quarters 1 and 2, and your other program gets focused on for quarters 3 and 4. And going back to this quarterly launch model I worked on with my client, ask yourself what's the minimum amount of things that you can change each time you launch. Because the more you can systematize how you are launching, that means you have to spend less time on the back end of things. You can devote more of your time and focus to being more creative with your content and showing up for your audience. I'm telling you, it's really that live touch point that is a big game changer. It helps you stand out in the crowd, especially if you're in a niche where you're selling something similar to others in your industry. It's your personality, how you teach, it's how you show up for people that can be the differentiator and why someone would choose you over another educator, another coach, another trainer, right? That's really the most unique selling point you can have for your products. I hope walking through that was really helpful for you as you think of your goals for the year. If you like this video and you want more coaching and training on creating and launching your digital products so that you can earn an additional income stream in your business, then go ahead and check out my Digital Empire membership. For just $10 a month, you get access to 2 live calls with me, as well as weekly Q&A threads so I can help you get unstuck and take action on adding digital products to your business. Click the link below this video to check out the Digital Empire membership and what else is included, and I hope to see you inside. Thanks for watching.